Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we have yet another mage tower, which has more to give than what meets the eye. That mage tower is Spectral Mausoleum. Spectral Mausoleum received seemingly minor changes, but they impacted the tower's role in the game quite a bit. To start off, the base damage at levels 1, 2 and 3 was increased by a significant amount, along with a hefty price decrease at levels 1 and 2. This was probably done in order to offset the range nerf at levels 1 through 3. But what it did was turn Mausoleum into almost a mage version of Boneflingers, as in they are very cheap while still providing good DPS. To dig into some stats, Mausoleum has higher DPS than Boneflingers across all levels, except when the latter has God Milk upgraded. Mausoleum is obviously more expensive, so it should be less cost efficient, but it's important to note that Mausoleum can store up to 3 attacks, and with Spectral Communion that number goes up to 4, which helps offset its slightly lower DPS in relation to Boneflingers. In the end, Boneflingers still have higher DPS when fully upgraded and can further bolster it using Bone Golems, but Mausoleum still has an edge when it comes to armored enemies, so use whichever seems appropriate for the given stage. When comparing Mausoleums with other mages, things are simple. They have less DPS than Infernals and Dark Obelisk, with worse cost efficiency, so if your goal is to kill lots of heavily armored targets, there are better towers out there. But if you need a cheap support mage, then Mausoleum fits this role perfectly. This can be seen in my playthrough of Sharkpool Reef campaign, where I started using Infernals and Boneflingers for maximum damage against Megalodons and Dashers, but the level leaves you somewhat gold-starved, which makes it hard to upgrade everything you want. So I decided to include 2 Mausoleums for cheap magic DPS, and that ended up being a brilliant decision. I could squeeze more DPS out of gold I was given, plus Mausoleum's abilities came in handy too. All 3 of its abilities are very good. Spectral Communion is a very cheap upgrade which boosts DPS by a good amount and gives the tower the ability to store up to 4 attacks. Plus it's slightly more cost efficient than leaving it unupgraded, so it should be your number 1 priority. Gargoyles are essentially level 4 orcs, with slightly higher DPS, health and armor, in exchange for longer respawn time. So I would use them as soldiers in a variety of cases, especially when dealing with large late waves, for example on Frozen Throne campaign, Frozen Throne Heroic, and aforementioned Sharkpool Reef campaign. They are pretty good at fulfilling their role and can provide much needed stalling for those extra big waves, so they are usually a good investment tool. Possession meanwhile was nerfed by quite a lot in terms of its cost and targeting, as it no longer targets enemies with the most HP. Despite this, I still find it incredibly useful if you get a bit lucky, since it can disrupt a strong enemy wave and act as a stalling mechanism. If you get really lucky, it can target giant enemies with high damage or enemies with area attacks, which can be game-changing. I found this ability most useful in Frozen Nightmare Elite campaign, where it could target Winter Lords, which inflict permanent damage over time and lead to guaranteed kills. I have had a few moments when possessed Winter Lords attacked Elite Frost Giants or other Winter Lords, thereby killing 2 birds with 1 stone. This obviously isn't going to happen all the time, but it happened enough to make possession a very worthwhile ability in this elite campaign. I also found use for it in the Pirate Kings, as all possessed units would be bombarded by enemy buccaneers and bomber parrots, essentially killing them, and simultaneously depriving parrots of their ammunition and saving my troops. So in short, even with all those nerfs, possession is awesome and really fun to use. As for the tower itself, it's not as powerful as other mages, But when you need cheap and fast magic damage, like for example against frozen souls, or you need a decent stalling ability alongside magic damage, then Spectral Mausoleum is the right one for the job. That was all. Next time we will talk about the first rallyable magic tower in the series, Wicked Sisters. Take care.